It is Saturday, November 5th, and I'm sitting in a park at a playground where I've talked to Holly before. So, here goes. Dear Holly, how was I to know that when we met in the spring of 2003, that you would become an integral part of my life, a mentor leading me forward despite the hurdles in your own life, someone I could count on to always be there. Then again, how could anyone have ever guessed that your life would be cut so short? As I sit here today, crying despite the fact that I let myself cry last night, I blame the movie I was watching. I'm more grateful than sad about your loss. It's been a long, tough learning process, but I guess I never actually quit, despite all the times I tried to. I didn't want to feel anything, especially this, the pain, the disappointment. I counted you in that severely small group of people that loved me unconditionally. You taught me what unconditional mother's love means in your example with your own girls, Becca and Allison. You gave everything so they could have everything. I didn't believe that concept until we talked about everything going on with girls. It was always amazing to me to see what could be done in life if you had the right determination. When I grow up and I have a family, I promise to be a mother like you. Someone who teaches their children to love, grow, and explore. Someone who will not let life teach their children no. Someone who fights to get all their needs met, to love others as they are loved, and to always believe in a higher love. There are a million good memories I can still laugh over. When we were planning and choreographing our first musical together, we were looking up dances, and you were afraid to Google Justin Timberlake's song Sexy Back because it might show up on the church server. Then we both thought a YouTube video for Mary Mary's Shackles said only Asian people can dance. We replayed it at least a dozen times, erupting into laughter each time. My first date with Roger was preempted with a doctor visit about my weight that you came with me on. We were sitting in the room waiting. You weren't paying attention, so I stared at you with my eyebrows raised so high and my eyes open as wide as I could get them. When you turned around, you made a little scream. We were dying of laughter. After the appointment, we were talking about a date that I had that night. It was the first date. You wanted me to remember my healthy boundaries and to get back at me. You reminded me how a teenage boy looks practicing kissing in a mirror. It was effective because I didn't kiss him, and that's okay. He wasn't the right one. I think the best memory, by far, is when Gina, Dawn, and I kidnapped you and took you to Toby's Dinner Theater for a surprise Grease. Grease live on stage. We laughed the whole way home because it seemed like the choreographer was obsessed with hip thrusts. I remember singing along with Gina's awesome playlist from her iPod. Best night, hands down. There are other moments I wish I could forget. All the times I called suicidal, I'm sorry. I finally learned to appreciate the life I have. For the mass goodbye text, I'm sorry. For every time I cut and harmed my body, I'm sorry. I wish I had an eraser for every mark now. The only thing I can do to make up for this is to learn to love the body I have left despite its abused exterior. Love the soul that you helped to coddle and embrace. I remember the hours upon hours that we spent on the phone, sometimes finishing the next day, and then another night. Our most memorable conversation being you convinced me to get treatment for cutting or pills, and I didn't want to. So you had Allison to tell me to make good decisions. Except she hadn't quite gotten it down, so it came out, make good decisions. We laughed about it, and you played that card whenever you could. It was a trump card, you played well. I'm not sorry for calling all the time. I learned so much. I wish I could have learned more. You are an amazing teacher at everything. In time, you won over every heart you came across. Life was always full of new possibilities for you, and now I'm learning to do the same. I'm learning to live again. Keep watching over me and everyone else. We will continue to keep your memory alive. You're always right there in our memories of the past and the promise of the future. So I rely on new friends now. I live in a new place, and I'm putting one foot in front of the other. I've held on to the pain for far too long, and when I release these balloons, I'm ready. And when I release these balloons, I'll be releasing more of the pain. I'm ready to take the lessons that you taught me and apply them to life in the moment. When I fall, I'll remember it's okay as long as I don't stay there and I get up and try again. I'll stop letting the devil tell me to be afraid of church. I'll walk forward with an open heart. So one day when God's ready for me, I'll have made him so proud I can see you on the other side. I just hope my next 60 years are as filled as your short 37. Thanks for teaching the world and me. I miss your hugs. By the way, if you could send somebody to me that was a good hugger, I'd be really grateful. All my love, Becca. P.S. Tell my Nana and Papa I'm growing up really well. I miss you, and I know that things will get better. So, hold on and bear with me. Fold this up. And into the envelope, the letter goes. One way or the other. It's a beautiful day too, so. Alright, here we go. The balloons are ready to fly.